Good morning from Michigan. Here is a day in the life. So just as a note for this channel, I am never going to show you guys everything that I eat in a day. I'm very diametrically opposed to full day of eatings. I think that they lead to a lot of comparison. It also would just be a lot. Like, I eat a lot of snacks and stuff during the day, and to keep track of all that would just be kind of tiring. I mean, even just now, after filming that, I went back and added more because that wasn't enough. I might go back and eat more later, and I may or may not film it. I don't ever want you guys to assume that I'm showing you everything that I'm eating. Okay, so now that breakfast is eaten, I thought that a really good way to start off, the actual informative videos on this channel would be to kind of talk about how to really start recovery. Firstly, I think that recovery is one of the best things that I ever did for myself. I think that everyone can benefit from it, even people who don't have issues with food or eating disorders. I have so many friends who, when I was going through what I was going through, they were watching and listening what I was going through, and so many of them have provided feedback to me saying, I learned so much, I look at myself differently now, I look at food differently now, and I just really think that anyone can benefit from it. Our society is so steeped in diet culture that really recovery is a radical thing. It truly is. Anyone can benefit from it. Step one is obviously choosing to recover. So if you're sitting here and you're contemplating recovery and you're not sure if you should do it, you're not sure if you even need to do it, I have this to say to you. What do you have to lose? I mean, really, are you happy right now? Are you genuinely happy? You might feel safe, you might feel in control, but really, are you? Or is something else controlling you? Is that a good feeling? The worst thing that happens if you pursue recovery is you realize you're actually better off than you thought you were, and you can move on with your life. The best thing that happens is you get your life back, you get yourself back. That's awesome. So step one is choosing it. You don't have to fit criteria to be able to choose this thing, to be able to investigate this thing, to be able to look into this thing. I spent so much time before I actually got help just stalking recovery YouTube and recovery Instagram, educating myself before I dove into it. You can too. If you're watching this video and you're thinking that you're not sick enough, all I have to say is people who are not sick don't sit there and contemplate whether or not they're sick enough. Period. You don't have to have certain physical symptoms. You don't have to have certain mental symptoms even. If any part of your life feels restricted or uncomfortable, or if you're watching other people walk around and saying, I wish I could have that life, I wish I could do that, I wish I could be that nonchalant about these things, you deserve better. And you can have better. All you have to do is choose and commit to recovery. Hello, I'm in the same spot again, but it's been a few hours. Now I'm eating my lunch. It's just really nice outside, so that's why I keep going out here. Step two for me is taking personal accountability. Now that you have this motivation and you're ready to go, actually make note of it. That could mean writing a journal entry about how excited you are. It could be making a list of all the things you're excited about leaving in the past or getting in the future. And I really think these things are important just because you will have hard times in the future and you will want to give up. So having something tangible to look at to keep you going can be so great. Step three would be building your support team. This is really important. A lot of places will emphasize telling everyone in your life, having this big reveal thing. I didn't necessarily do that. I think it's okay to pick and choose who you want to ask for support from and who you want to tell about what you're going through. And that can change along the course of your recovery as well, depending on exactly what you need at what time. But when I say a support team, I also don't just mean therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, dietitian. You're also going to need people at home, at school, at work to keep you accountable. You can do this alone, but it's so much harder. There's also the support of people that are a little bit less tangible. Some resources that I would recommend would be Rehabilitate, Rewire, Recover. Tabitha's just awesome. She also has a YouTube channel. The Side as well is just a fantastic book. And if you go to my Instagram, I follow people who really inspire me. It's so important to cultivate your social media so that it's a positive place rather than a place where every time you log on, you're comparing yourself to people. Make it a place that is nourishing, supporting, encouraging. Yeah. So, you've made the decision to commit to recovery, you've assembled your support team, you've motivated yourself, and you're starting to get your resources assembled. What's next? I would say the next thing to do would be to actually start setting guidelines for yourself on how you're going to break all of these rules and controls that you've set for yourself during that whole disordered part of your life. Some guidelines that I originally set were 3 meals and 3 snacks a day, minimum, and that's a hard minimum. When I first started out, I thought that anything over that was going to make me gain weight too fast, was going to make me recover too fast, which, by the way, is bull. Because recovering too fast just means you're getting your life back faster. I also just set for myself that whenever I was hungry, I should be eating. It doesn't matter if that hunger was mental, if it was physical, if it was a craving. If something was just on the table and it sounded really good, then I would just eat it, because what you've got to keep in mind is any food that you have any inkling of wanting to eat during this time that you pass up is restriction. Any instance when you're eating that food is counteracting restriction and wiring your brain to teach it that food is not anything to be feared and weight gain is not anything to be feared. So really, if you're ever kind of at an impasse and you're not really sure exactly what road to take, whether that be eating or not eating, it's always defer to eating, because that's going to be what fixes you. You've got to make this the forefront of your life right now. It's so important. You might have to do things that the people around you aren't doing. You might have to do things that make you uncomfortable. But nothing that you're going to have to do is going to be worse than the isolation and the frustration and the monotony of what you were before. So it is nighttime. I had a bunch of yummy desserts, some drinks, and just a good time with my family. We watched a movie. It was awesome. I guess the last thing that I just wanted to say before I sign off for the night is that you're going to have to prepare yourself for some hard truths. The reality is that you might not be able to do this without gaining the weight that you don't want to gain, without eating the foods that you don't want to eat, without doing the things that you don't want to do. You have to do them anyways. And it's not always going to be the easier path. Many times it's going to be the harder one, but it's also the more rewarding one, I promise you. For me, it's brought better friendships, better relationships, better emotional awareness, better emotional intelligence, more appreciation for my body, more freedom, more flexibility, better health, the ability to be more spontaneous, more adventurous, more creativity, more brain space, less stress, new friends, just a whole host of things. I could talk for hours about all the awesome things that I've gotten from this experience, but I'm sure that your rewards will be different. I wish you all the best, and I hope that this video was helpful in some small way. Good night, everybody.